Hello, friends. It's your girl, Venice Antoinette.
And Amo Chanel.
Here with another episode of
Sip
Sip
and
and Spill. And today, we're here to talk to you about...
We are here to talk about a meme that is centered around two recent events in pop culture. The one event was basically the discovery of Donald Glover, or Childish Gambino, dating a Caucasian woman. And then Duchess Meghan Markle marrying the Prince Harry. And the different reactions that women of color had to both events. There seemed to be a difference in reactions, and we're going to talk about why the difference may be. So, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so I guess we should be clear about what the meme was. We'll display it here for all of you to see. But basically, it was a woman of color being disgusted at Donald Glover dating a Caucasian woman, and then a woman of color being very prideful about Meghan Markle marrying Prince Harry. So what do you think?
So I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely a double standard. And I would be a fraud if I said I didn't partake in that double standard. And I know it's wrong. It is so wrong. But it's true. It seems like from a woman of color's perspective that when a black man makes it, he ends up with a white woman. And for us, it's we feel like white men are more likely to treat us better. Well, not more likely, but you know what I mean? White men are portrayed as they treat black women better, and they treat them like the queens that we are.
Right.
Whereas the brothers sometimes, they might throw us under the bus, or we might see them choose the white girl over us. So it's kind of like a refreshing look sometimes as a woman of color to see, okay, girl, get your little white man. You got Prince Harry. Do you, girl, do you?
I think
it's wrong, but it's a double standard that definitely exists.
It is a double standard, but I think that it's so common that as women of color, we see men of color, lifting up more European features, or feeling like they have a prize when they have someone with more European features, as opposed to I feel like the majority of women of color want another man of color. And I feel like a man of color, if he has a more European woman, he feels like, oh, this is better, upper echelons or whatever.
I feel especially in the LA world, I get the vibe that a lot of men in LA, I'ma speak from black men, all of them want the exotic girl. And it's not that many exotic girls to go around,
Right.
You can't all have the exotic girl. You can't all have the white girl. You can't all have the black girl who's half black with, instead of kinky curly hair, she has 4A curl instead of 4C. I mean, or she has 3B instead of 4C. You can't all have that. You can't have the Latina girl who, because I think in I've overheard in the Latino community, sometimes they'll refer to them as white Latinos versus black Latinos. I could be wrong, but I've overheard that.
Yeah.
But you can't have the Latina who portrays more of the European facial features of the slanted nose and the, the jawline, and then the hair that isn't as kinky or as curly.
Right.
You can't all have that. So, but I get that vibe that in Hollywood that's kind of the vision. You want kind of the exotic woman, and the other thing too is a lot of the women who are considered exotic have a lot of European features. So how exotic is that?
That's very true. It kind of loses its exoticness.
Right.
But me personally, when I found out that Donald Glover had a Caucasian, whatever, if he's dating her, if that's just the mother of his child, I don't know. But I didn't take offense. I think I read somewhere that he felt like he connected better with Caucasian women because I don't know, black women weren't interested into his interests. I think that's a general statement. I think maybe you were seeking out the wrong black women, because I don't think you could say black women like this, black women don't like that. There's different kinds of black women, just like he's a different kind of black man. So for him to make that generalization. But if that's who he happens to love, that's fine. But I just feel like when men say, oh, I only like to date Caucasian women because of this, I feel like that's ignorance.
I agree. And I think Childish Gambino got killed the way he did because it was after the This Is America video. And like that kind of brings the question of, can you, because a lot of people did the same with Shannon Sharp, because Shannon Sharp was so big on supporting Colin Kaepernick, but then everyone found out that his wife was white.
He's married?
Yeah.
What about his thing with Nicole Murphy?
That's not real.
He's so out of line. I didn't even know he was married. Like,
I mean, it's just a joke. I don't think that's that big of a deal.
I'd have been offended if I was his wife.
I don't think. I'm like, if you date someone like that, I think you know who it is. I don't think that was that big of a deal. But
I'd have been offended
his wife
really
is white.
He was shooting his shot. But go ahead.
His wife is white,
wow.
And Childish Gambino's wife is white. And so when I saw, like, I guess what made me connected to is because when I saw the reaction to Childish Gambino's girlfriend, it reminded me of everyone's reaction when they found out about Shannon Sharp's wife. And it was like, can you be this supportive of the black community and preach about being woke and preach about the white man this, the white man that, and then marry someone in that community or date someone in that community versus your own? And in Childish Gambino's case, where I think he messed up at was, like you said, kind of like making it seem like all black women were like not interested in what he was interested in. Because like you said, there's different, like not everyone's the same. But if he felt more connected to that specific girl, he should have more generalized it, because I could kind of see it. Because if he grew up in a certain like area, he probably is used to a certain type of black girl. And from what I've seen from Childish Gambino, I'm not gonna lie, he wouldn't have been my type.
Mine either.
Like, he would not, I would not have vibed with him at all. And I mean, he's successful, so clearly I would have missed out. But he would not have been my type.
Right.
I would not have given him the time of day. And I'm a black girl, so I can't really, be but so mad. But there are black girls who would have been into him the way that he is now. And so that's kind of the issue. Like, you can't make it seem like all black girls are this way,
right,
and then downplay us, but then tell us that America ain't shit in the This Is America video, speaking about how black people as a whole are treated compared to white people. Like, it just...
It's a total double standard. But then it kind of comes down to, I feel like we maybe need to look at ourselves, because when Kendrick Lamar's, when he finally showed his girlfriend, everybody came down on him because she was light-skinned. Like, they were like,
that was ridiculous.
Why can't you have a brown-skinned sister? Like, I feel
his girlfriend was with him since that man was in the projects, first of all. So, like,
everybody's mad.
Everyone who's mad at Kendrick Lamar, you need to shut your mouth, because that girl has been down with Kendrick.
And she's
since
black.
He was in
like,
the
she
raw.
can't control her skin tone. Like, now we're gonna say, oh, if you're pro-black, you can only date like a dark-skinned woman. I think that gets a little ridiculous. And if that Caucasian woman is who Donald Glover loves, then okay. But I think if he's shutting himself down to any other black woman because he thinks that they may not be interested in his interests, I think that he's selling himself short in that way, like you said. But what?
And I can because I mean, if he was, I don't know Childish Gambino's whole history of like where he grew up and things like that, but if he grew up, or because I have cousins, for example, who grew up in all white schools. Like, they were literally the only black students that graduated from their high schools, because there was no other ones.
Right.
It was maybe one or two other ones, but that was it. And so I guess I can understand why they're more comfortable around white people and why they're attracted more to white girls, because that's what they saw their whole lives. So I don't know if that's his story.
That could be. I think he was adopted by white parents. If I'm
that
not
makes
mistaken.
a lot of sense then.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think so. But So that could play into
I think
it.
he just got crucified because that came out after the This Is America video.
Right. But I know...
Because honestly, if the This Is America video did not come out and a picture of him with a white girl came out, I would not have been shocked at all.
No, yeah.
Because he just seemed like the type. I don't know, that sounds bad, but like... just the way he is and how he carries himself and like his jokes, I never get his jokes. Like they just...
I do like Atlanta, but I feel
I never watched Atlanta.
It's good, but yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be...
He just has like a certain quirkiness.
Yes, quirky. Yes. Like that's exactly what it is. I can see I'm not attracted to his quirkiness.
Right.
But with Meghan Markle, with her marrying Prince Harry, I wasn't like... Yes, it was because she's marrying a white man. It was just more so like she's over there in like the royal palace, and that's just not a place that was built for us because it's their family. You know, she's the first person. She's half black, but she's the first person who's of color to be in the royal family. So I just thought.
So is that why you were more accepting of it?
Of their relationship? I'm like, whenever I see a black woman dating a white man, I just think, that's not my interest, but okay, if that's what they want, I wouldn't have been bothered with it if they weren't royal.
So let's say the Prince Harry was black and Meghan was white. What would your reaction have been? So if Prince Harry was black and Meghan was white, what would your reaction have been?
I guess it's like if all the other queens and princesses and everything had been black, I'll be wondering, like, is he just not attracted to black women, or is that who he actually just happened to fall in love with? If it was that he had a thing against black women and he never dated a black woman and didn't want to date a black woman, I'm not gonna lie, I would look at it like he's tripping.
But we wouldn't know the answer to that.
Yeah. So if it had just been a white girl and a Caucasian girl and I didn't know anything behind it, then yeah, I'd have been like, why couldn't you? Like, it wasn't a...
Yeah, I would have been annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I definitely would have been annoyed, and oh man, I think it's just so different. Like, and it's different. It's such a double standard, but it's so different because when you think of a man, you think of a man carrying the household. You think of the man carrying the name. You think the man furthering the legacy of that name. Yes, women, of course, we partake in that. We build our own legacies, but to me, it's a difference between, it's just a difference, and I know it's a double standard. It's not right at all, but it is a huge difference. Like, my reaction to Meghan marrying Prince Harry would have been completely different if Prince Harry was black and she was white. I'm just saying, I would have been like, wow, like all that we've been through and you bring this white woman into, like, they've had the house forever. Can we have our time?
That's what makes a difference. They have had the house forever.
Right.
If we haven't had the house, so that's a conversation, but maybe if we had the house, we would think of it differently because we probably would be not the minority if that was the case.
I guess it also is like... Because when we speak of this deeper, it's like, as a community, we've been oppressed. And white people have been our oppressors historically. But it's different when a black man goes to the oppressor versus when a black woman goes to the oppressor. But I guess, is it because of the power? Because when you think historically, if you even take it back to slavery times, when slaves were dating the master, it was different than when a male slave was dating the wife of the master. Like, it's just, it's like, it seems like it's just carried on forever. Like, that double standard just never went away. Because either way, the oppressed is with the oppressor. But why is it okay if it's a man versus if it's a woman?
That's a good question, because if you really think about it, back when, in the days when we were slaves, when the black woman was with the white man, it was because most of the time we had no choice. So, and that's the situation that we kind of see as more
understanding,
acceptable. Well, at least as women. So, I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe it was less common for a white woman to be with a black man?
Well, I don't think in that case the black man had much of a choice either. It's just we viewed it different because he was a man.
And
But I don't think that he had much of a choice either in that case.
That's true.
So it's just like this double standard has just carried on forever. And I don't think we're going to figure it out tonight.
It's a deep conversation.
It's like...
It is.
Because I really know that I definitely feel some type of way when I see one versus the other. But I can't explain it. Like, why? Like, why do I feel that way? And I think it has a lot to do with because... It's like the man holds so much power. Mm-hmm. The way that we view a man historically in reference to the household and everything I described before. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how dare you bring in the oppressor into our culture versus like when a white man dates a black woman, it's like the woman is introducing our culture to the oppressor. Right. Mm-hmm. Versus the oppressed is bringing the oppressor into our culture, and we just have to accept it. We already did that. We already had to accept it, even though we didn't want to.
That's true.
And then it's like, why can't... I don't know, though, because sometimes when I do see a black girl with a white guy, I might feel a little weird about it sometimes, because it's like, why couldn't you find... You know, like a black guy, like that, you know, was your type or, you know, that had everything that he had or more. But then again, like I said, the way it's portrayed is like white guys just appreciate us more. And then it seems like I think I think I figured it out. I think the reason why women of color feel some type of way when a black guy is with a white girl versus when a white guy is with a black girl is because of appreciation. Because when we see a black guy with a white girl, we typically see him treating her like she's gold. Right. Versus how he may talk about us or how it's portrayed of how a black man treats a black woman. And so we may not feel as appreciated from our own. Versus when a white guy dates a black girl, it seems like he appreciates her more.
But you know what I think it is? I think it's just like the difference of cultures. I feel like white men maybe treat us as if we're queens and are so fascinated and in awe by like our complexions and our hair and everything like that because it's just not what they've grown up around. I feel like people value what they don't have or like what they don't see as much, whatever is like more foreign to them.
That's true, because I remember I was listening to Brilliant Idiot. I can never say this. Brilliant Idiots. Like, I can say the words separate, just never together for whatever reason. But I was watching Brilliant Idiots, and Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz were talking about their expectation of a woman. And it was so crazy seeing the difference between a black man's expectation of a woman and a white man's expectation of a woman. Like... And I think the reason why, I think that adds on to why we react differently to when a black girl treats a white man, dates a white guy, is because a white man, from what I saw and how they described the two different cultures, white men have a much lower expectation of women than black men do. And so when they date a black woman, because we're used to living up to that high expectation, we surpass their expectation by a long shot every time. So it's like, that's why they treat us so well. Because they never had that expectation. Like, wow, she has this, and she can do this, and this. And she does, because we have to be like everything. Like, we basically have to be able to run a whole household by ourselves. And then be like, oh, but you're the man of the house. Like, and I know that sounds horrible, but that's kind of how our community has been. Whereas a black man, from at least what Charlamagne described, and I kind of agreed with him when I thought about it, their expectation is so much higher.
That's a good point. That could play a lot into it too.
Right.
Do you, like, I know I just came from a vacation and I saw so many black women and white men. And it was like a couple's place for vacation, and like that was all I saw, black women and white men. But it didn't really I wasn't like angered by it. I was just like curious. Like, is she not interested in black men, or like, how did that happen? So, like, are you angered when you see a black woman with a white man, or do you more so feel like that's just her thing?
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm definitely partaking this double standard, as wrong as it is, because I just assume that he treats her better.
Well, I don't assume he treats her better. I don't know what.
Well, yeah, that sounds wrong. I don't want to say I assume that he treats her better,
I'm not
but
gonna
I do
lie.
assume that he treats her well.
It sounds bad to say, but like, a lot of the time when I saw it, I was like, is it like she just came over here for the trip? Like, did he just pay?
That's true.
Did he just have the money?
Because they usually are financially stable.
And it sounds so bad to say, but like, if I'm being honest, that's what I thought. Like, did he just pay? And is that why she's here?
So maybe what it is that, because when you think about it, we go back to the Childish Gambino and Shannon Sharp versus Megan and Prince Harry. Shannon Sharp and Childish Gambino are the moneymakers in their relationships. No disrespect to Megan, but Prince Henry is the moneymaker in that situation. Right. So is it that we view it okay for her because she's getting hers and building her legacy moving forward, whereas with Shannon and Childish Gambino, rather than uplifting their own community and bringing a black girl along with them, they decided to date a white girl because they got money now.
That's a good perspective. That could be.
Because I think that's also a reason why we might look at it like that. Because typically, it seems that, which, you know, is because of a lot of reasons, but typically, white men have more money because they come from money. And that's just, they have the opportunities that we didn't have. Right. Versus like black men, we're now trying to fight to build our legacies and everything.
They
now
have a better starting place.
Right. So they have a better starting place. They have money from like when our great-great-grandparents were slaves. So, you know, like they typically come from more money. So when we do see someone in the black community make it, it's like, it's more refreshing to see them come up. Like Obama and Michelle.
Right. We love them.
Like, how would we have reacted if Obama had a white wife?
Ooh.
I don't even know if he'd be the president, to be honest with you.
I don't know either. He wouldn't be as loved, that's for sure. And it's nothing against interracial couples. It's just that my only issue is when a black man treats it as though like a woman of more European features and descent is a prize. Like, I'm of this status now, so this is what I deserve. But if that's who you love, cool. But I just don't like it when they make it seem like this is what I deserve right now. Yeah. Like, in my status in life, this is what I should have.
Yeah, sure.
So that is a very good point. I feel like that's why we love the Obamas so much, because they're two people of color that struggle in the same exact way and stay down with each other in the same exact way and rose together.
So maybe that's why we feel some type of way about it. I think also part of the reason why, because I'm not gonna lie, in Dear White People, when I saw Sam was dating a white dude, oh, I was like, now that was an issue for me at first. Because I was just like, you have a whole a whole radio show called Dear White People, telling them about themselves. You're like the star of the campus and you're dating a white man?
Yeah, I couldn't understand that. And it was,
so maybe it does have more to do with power.
Maybe. That's
like, what if Oprah was with a white man instead of Stedman?
Could you imagine? But Oprah is with Stedman, so
or what if like Gabrielle Union was with a white dude instead of Dwayne Wade?
Maybe that's where the issue lies, because we don't do that. I can't think of a white woman in power. I mean, a black woman in power that isn't with a black man.
I'm sure there are. I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's not as common.
But I feel like that would be more of an issue.
Right. It's not as, maybe that's the thing, the power then.
Because when you think of it, there's like CEOs, for example, like female CEOs that I can think of who date a white man because they feel like they're at their level, whereas it's not as many black men who are in higher positions. And so, you know, certain things like that, but then we might look at it like, for example, think like a man. Taraji P. Henson's character. And how she was really picky about like who she was dating because of the level of stature they were at.
Right.
How would you have felt if like Morris Chestnut's position was a white guy? I would have felt some type of way about
offended.
it. Yeah, I would say I would have been offended.
I'd have been pissed. I'd have been like, so you don't think there's a black man that could have fit her standards?
Yeah, because I'd be like, so what was the Michael Ealy's character? Whatever. I'm like, oh, so Michael Ealy isn't good enough for you, but this white man who's just like, I definitely would have had this.
So it's not about genders. I would have been pissed.
I think it's power
in that movie.
And I think the reason we have an issue with black men dating a white woman more than we have with a black woman dating a white man is because we typically position power with a man.
That could be a good point.
Because like I said, if Stedman was white,
I'd have been like, Oprah, really?
I would, but then again with Oprah, I don't know if I would have been surprised.
It wouldn't be a shock, but I would be like, so you don't think it wasn't a black man good enough for her?
Yeah.
Like, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just that we see it as, so you couldn't find somebody black that you think is good enough for you at that level. Maybe that's what it is.
Man, we just figured it out today. I think this is the perfect place to wrap up.
Yes.
So tips of the day. First of all, let us know what you think. Because obviously, this is not the end all be all. Is that what they say?
Right.
Yeah, something like that. End all be all. This is just our opinions after drinking 3 glasses of wine. So let us know your opinions down below. What do you think? What is your reaction when you see a white girl with a black man versus a black girl with a white man?
Let us know.
What was your reaction when you saw Childish Gambino with his girlfriend versus your reaction with Prince Harry and Meghan? Let us know down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Check us out every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We'll be uploading new episodes. And let us know if you have any topics you want us to discuss. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, deuces.